Welcome everybody to Generación Latina, and this week we are talking about the Maryland Dream Act. But before that, there are a number of resources and opportunities and just great ideas that one of our student interns this time is going to bring to us. So I am thrilled to introduce you to my Generación Latina intern, Karen Venegas. How are you, Karen?
I'm good. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
And Karen, tell me a little bit about yourself. We want to get to know you. You're kind of now on board with us for this semester. You're a high school student. Tell me a little bit about your background and your interest in this field of broadcast.
Well, I am a Colombian-born citizen, and right now I am a senior at James Hubert Blake High School in Silver Spring, Maryland. Ever since I can remember, especially my middle school years, I always displayed a passion for journalism and communications, and I'm just so thrilled to be here to be able to experience that.
You're in the right place, so I'm excited to have you and assist me. And you're also involved in so much, which is one of the reasons why I identified you as somebody who stood out from the crowd, because if I could just mention some of the things that you do, you're involved in your student council. You just started a new dance group team in your school, which you're going to tell us more about. You were one of 2 students in your high school selected to participate at a national level policy conference last year, which was when we kind of met again, because I had seen you before at the Maryland Hispanic Youth Institute. Another thing that you're going to tell us more about. So you're doing a ton, obviously. The question is, how do you do it? And we want to know. Well, let's start, from high school. Like, what is it that you're involved with, especially with Fuego Latino, and why should more students do things like that or get involved in your school?
Well, right now, other than Fuego Latino, I'm also involved with our school's Hispanic Leadership Club, which strives to academically help all of Latino students in general to, succeed in school. Like you said, Student Council and SJ are also part of the clubs I'm involved with. But Fuego Latino, I was really dedicated to restarting because I had attended a competition last spring, which you hosted, and it just sparked that interest in me. I mean, being Latina, I always have that rhythm, but I never found it. And Fuego Latino has helped me not only find it for me, but help other people find it. And I just hope that a lot of people start up clubs like these in their schools, because not only does it promote our culture, but it also promotes a healthy lifestyle, which is very important nowadays for students to be aware of.
So let me ask you if you have a preference for which one of these: salsa, merengue, bachata, and I guess cumbia, since you're Colombian. So which one is your favorite?
Definitely has to be salsa. I am a salsa lover.
Right, that's the right answer, let me tell you, because that's also my preference. Now, what was the most difficult part about starting that club in your school?
The most difficult part is definitely trying to get the kids to be committed to it, because once you are so involved with it, you want these kids to give 110% as well. And some of these kids, they want to do it a few times and then they kind of give up on it. But it's, also trying to build that leadership in them, because once I leave, someone else has to take over. So I just want to make sure that they know what it takes so that they can also be successful with it.
What keeps them coming back?
I think it's the fact that they can dance. I mean, I really just think it's that. I mean, there are groups that are friends, but I think that they like to know that they can perform and people will realize all that they're doing and they will appreciate what they're doing for their culture.
I agree, and you're doing a lot there. You're also, beyond your school, you were very involved at the Maryland Hispanic Youth Institute, which is a 1-week college preparedness camp, you could say, at Towson University and a number of other universities. But tell me about your involvement there and kind of what's coming up next with that, because it kind of happens every year, right? So we can, a number of high school students, hundreds of them actually, could potentially take advantage of them.
I definitely have to say it was the best 4 days of my summer. I had an amazing time, from our familia to the rest of the 120 students to all of our RAs or junior RAs, Daniel Sarmiento. Everyone was just so wonderful, and we really just became such a tightly knit clan, and we had such a bond that I will never ever forget the experience. I definitely encourage anyone that can to sign up.
And that could be anyone in Montgomery County, and Howard, and DC. I mean, it's kind of really open as long as you can get to the university, and there's buses that take you there too. So
exactly, there's no reason why you can't do it, and it's during the summer. You don't have to drive back and forth. You stay overnight, so
you get to have the college life in a way.
Exactly. It's a wonderful experience.
And those applications are usually going to come up, I think, sometime in the spring, if I'm not mistaken, so we can look out for that. What else is also happening in the spring here in our county for the first time? Tell us a little bit more about that.
A few of us, after being so inspired from what we saw at the Hispanic Youth Institute this year, we decided that we wanted to bring it to Montgomery County for kids who also want to take part of something like it. So for the first time ever, we're going to bring the mini Montgomery County Hispanic Youth Institute, and it will be open to students of Montgomery County high schools, and hopefully we'll have a big turnout for that, so that we can start spreading the word about this wonderful program.
And that's basically like the 4 days. All the best parts about the 4 days at the Maryland Hispanic Youth Institute at a college will be kind of like on steroids in 1 day at Montgomery College, right?
That's right.
So we're excited. You're going to tell us a lot more about that. And I know once they start taking in more either applications or however they're going to do it, but that's something to definitely look out for. I know you're going to be very involved with that, and they have my full support as well. There's something that you were involved with last year, and this happens every year. This is available to Hispanic college students in Montgomery County high schools. Tell me more about the Student Emerging Leaders Program.
The Student Emerging Leaders Program is open for high school students in Montgomery County, and they're hand-selected by their teachers, and they go an application process, and once that process is completed, you're eligible to attend the Hispanic Congressional Caucus, which happens every fall. And after that, you follow up with what you learned over there, and you can either do a mock legislation or an issue brief, and which turns out to be a sort of ceremony down in Capitol Hill towards the end of the winter. And it's just a wonderful experience, looks great on college resumes. And for me, I just loved being in that atmosphere. I felt very old for my age, and it was a wonderful time.
So in a nutshell, this program selects only 50 Hispanic students in the county, so only 2 out of all the 25 high schools.
That's right.
You got to stand out, you got to be a leader, and you got to be recognized. You can only be a sophomore, right?
That's right.
So, and it puts you basically in a part of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Policy Conference, which, I mean, there are, nationwide leaders in education and healthcare and the economy. There's so much and that you can learn, and also people that you can connect with, and you did that. And then you go out and you write your paper about it, present it, and again have another reception at Congress. So great opportunity. You can find out all these things at our blog, of course, generacionlatina.org, where I know you're going to be blogging quite soon. So we're excited to see what you're going to cover. And one last thing before we move on to really the meat of this show, which is going to be about the Maryland Dream Act. You're another activist of many. But let me ask you this. What drives you? Why do you do so much? What's kind of the heart of what gets you out there doing so much and keeping up with good grades?
I've been asked that many times, and I don't really know, because it can be very stressful, but at the end of the day, I'm not only bettering myself, but I'm making a difference in my community, and I think that's what's important for me, to know that I can be the change that I want to be. And I think that, we all have the leaders in us, and it's just a matter of time and for us to have that come out. And I just think that anyone can do what I'm doing. It just takes a lot of dedication, that's for sure. And I always encourage anyone to stand up for what they believe in.
Thank you for that, Karen. And I will be remiss if I do not mention your mommy and papi, who are just great people. I really wish more parents did what they did. They reached out to me, and they wanted to know what options you had for college, which you're looking at next year. Now, how many parents, if they did that, imagine just the support that they would, that the student would feel. I mean, it's just so crucial, and I definitely have to say that you are here so much because they are there for you, right? So that's part of our message. That's part of why we are all here, and just trying to better not only ourselves but our families, our community. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for representing us so well at Blake, at Montgomery County, and in Maryland wide. So I'm excited that you're joining our efforts. Now, when we get back, we're going to talk with Roberto Juarez. He is probably the leading activist in the Maryland DREAM Act efforts. So please stay with us, and don't forget to check all these resources out at generacionlatina.org.